Hey, party people, it's Cliff. Good morning. It is rainy outside. In LA, unprecedented. Oh, humans are the system. I thought that was a good subject to start us off with. It's not it's not the computers, it's not you know, it's not the ghosts or whatever. It's humans, it's people. And when you understand what people want, you understand how these systems are sort of built on a massive scale. And rule number one, humans want more, they don't want less. If you had a choice between $10 and $100, which one would you choose? Now, don't tell me about these, oh, humans don't want more cancer. It's like, well, humans want more health. They want more benefits. Everybody wants more, nobody wants less. And it's true, business, nobody sits in a room for 12 hours and says, how can we lose money on this business? Nobody goes to work and says, that was an unproductive day. Nobody gets in a car and drives to somewhere, well, unless you're having it for fun. But you want to have more fun and not less fun. And really the subject of it is that, every single thing, every single, all the stuff, all of the websites and, the data and everything is all about, getting more, getting more money, getting more control, getting more stuff. And I guess the only thing, as they say, you can't get more of is time. But there are going to be people that'll try. And it's sort of the basis of, I don't know, I got a conspiracy theory. Yeah, I could write it in a book or something, make it into a movie. But that's for another time. A longer explanation. Other than that, hung out with some friends, saw Doubt yesterday, Meryl Streep, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams. Good movie. Solid movie based off of a play. And, it makes you think about all of the, like which character is what. Like, did the pastor, like, actually, is he grooming the kid or not? And there was a whole bunch of debate, between us and our friends. Between my friends and I at the, after the movie. And it sort of got me thinking about, like, well, the things in life that you doubt, that you aren't sure of. And really, it could also be a story of letting go. And letting go in the sense of, the system that's built, right, to control us, left or right, or, this data or that data. And you gotta pick and choose your battles, but you also gotta realize that humans are part of that system. And when you know that human nature, human behavior is like you're always wanting more of something. You're always wanting to, get more shelter, get more food, stock up for the winter. Then you know that every other system is built off of that. And I don't want to say you can game it, but you can just like have an understanding of like what is proper. I don't know. I don't know what to think about. I don't know how to connect it, but you got spidey sense. I don't know. I don't understand it. It's like a lot of videos come out there and they say, those other YouTubers will say, oh, the system is broken, the system is this or that. And I say, like, just learn what the system is and do what you do to benefit from the system. I mean, you want to change the system, like you gotta play along with it until you can actually like get into a position of power to like make the rules change. And it's just how it is, and it's unfortunate because we all have empathy for things that we want right. I mean, like today, Trump and the Supreme Court are challenging the United States birthright citizenship. And I think everybody has the right to be, if you're born here in the States, like you should be a United States citizen. We're the only country that does it, and the only country that has that compassion and empathy for, for human rights. But if that goes away, just like all the other things going away, I don't know what the play is. But I don't know. I'm going to work. That's all I can do. Go to work, do my thing, be productive, be feed the system, feed the AI system, and reap the small benefit that is a paycheck. Yeah, but but as the economy goes worse, for some people, for other people, it's just like, oh, it's no big deal because they have assets, because they have homes, they've invested in crypto, Bitcoin. You just get to a point where, it's like I feel for him. And there's just no easy way to explain it. But it's like you got to understand the system in order to, I don't know, take advantage of it. Well, this got dark real fast, didn't it? Well, that's it. We're all part of this big old mecca of things, and I guess that's sort of the idea that I hold in my mind, is that, all right, if people are in control and people want more, they always want more, they don't want less, then, I guess you could say, like, how do you develop a system that encourages people to behave in a way that doesn't encourage them to gain more? A long time ago in college, a friend and I were talking about how democracy is like not the perfect system, or capitalism is not the perfect system, but it's a good system for now because, I grew up poor, mom grew up poor in a foreign country, dad was here, everybody grew up poor. And one day I decided, I was just like, I don't want to be poor. And so, capitalism gave me the opportunities in order to flourish, in order to be good. And without that kind of system, like, I wouldn't be, I'd probably be farming somewhere in China. So, and like, how do you develop a system that encourages, that encourages people not to want more, and to, and how do you build a, how do you build a system and a society that is going to encourage people to be, kind and loving to each other, instead of this quest, instead of like our natural behaviors of being like, we want more safety, we want more money, we want more, things, we want more fame and fortune, we want more TikTok impressions, we want more views. Like, how do we build, and I guess I say, how do we build it, but like, how do you structure it? And that's the question you got to ask. And I think, I think the incentivizes, because you can't do it. Taxes are sort of like the way, that people, that's like the first thing. It's like, take their money. It's like, well, no, you can't just take their money, because they're just going to like keep on making more money. But maybe if there was a process that like you got a dopamine hit when you do something good for other people. I don't know. It's a great thought experiment, because I don't know what that system is, or what it's going to be built on, or how to even like start to build it, right? I mean, one of my big things is like, if you want to run for, I guess a start would be, if you want to run for Congress or any sort of office or be a judge, it's like, all right, all of your assets, all of your money, all of the things that you own basically get taken away, or they get taken away and they get put into a trust, everything you own, and then you get nothing. You get nothing. You do, like, while you're in the job, making the laws and being a political whatever. And then at the end of your tenure, you either don't get all that stuff back, or you don't get that stuff back, and you're basically like, like, that's it. You get set up with a decent salary, and for the rest of your life. But during your tenure, if you don't have any stuff, you get to use all of the tools in the American society that exists, right? So you get your free healthcare, you get your free transportation, you get your free food, you get everything. Everything's paid for you, but you get nothing. And I think that would encourage, and you don't get all your stuff back, right? Because then you look at people like Trump, or John Kerry's wife, who owns Heinz Ketchup, and you look at all these politicians, and the only way that politicians would ever run for that, especially if all their stuff gets taken away, and all their stuff is just like, gone, like, that is, the people who have all the money and have all the influence and power would think twice before they would like seek political office. And then you just get out of it. Then anybody who has an incentive to just keep making money, or to use the system in order to make money, they can get thrown a, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. That's my political idea. But I'm a little bit sniffly this morning. Heck, that's what I'd do if I was president. First thing I'd do is just, seize all the assets from all the people in, like senators and Republicans. Take all their assets, put it in a trust, and say, you don't get this back until 10 years after you have left office, or something like that. 5 years after you have left office, and then it's like, you can quit, and then we'll have elections, and then that's when because if you take money out of the system, right, separate money out of politics, then you got to have people that want to be there for a reason. And then you'll have to address the issue of, like, extremists who want to go in and like gut the government versus good people. But then again, like, I don't know. I think everybody should be voted out every 6 months. But whatever. Anyway, I think I'll end it there. Good chat. Take money out of politics. What did we go for? We went from the system to how to fix the system. So I'm happy with that. Until next time, see you guys.